Hi, this is Dr. Nancy Zare, and I want to welcome you to Selling with Style, an introduction to the AlikeAbility system. And as we get started, I want to thank you because you are investing your time in your professional development, and I know time is your most precious commodity. You know, we can make money back, but we can't get back our time. So thank you again for sharing some of it with me. And I hope you have paper available because I'm going to pack this program full of information. You're sure to want to take some notes. I have questions for you. Would you like to increase sales? Well, I'm guessing that's why you're here. And would you like to hear yes every time you meet with a prospect? Ooh, would that be music to my ears? And may I share the secret for how you can do both? It's called AlikeAbility. AlikeAbility. Quick story about Mike. He's a realtor, works for a firm that represents both a rental and property for sale. And he got called by one of their renters who had decided that it was time for him to become a first-time buyer. That was a great opportunity for Mike because he was on that receiving end of the phone, and he immediately, as soon as he heard first-time buyer, he just began to give lots of information, share with this individual about all the things he knew about helping a first-time buyer. In a few minutes, he sensed that somehow they were not connected, that he wasn't getting the response that he expected. So how did Mike react? He gave more information. He was even more full of all the things that he needed to share so that this first-time buyer would be prepared. And within a minute, their phone call ended. And later, Mike learned that that same person called again, spoke with a different member of the staff, and this time went on to buy a property. Now, that represented several $1,000 loss for Mike. What was his mistake? Where do you think he went wrong? You know, Mike is typical of many salespeople. He's stuck in only one way of communicating, only one way of presenting information. The best salespeople outsell the average 57 to 1. That's a huge gap. And this comes from the Word of Mouth Marketing Association. Why do you think that there is such a big difference? Well, I think of it as the chameleon effect. As a kid, I was absolutely fascinated by chameleons because they could change color based upon their environment. If you put them on the green leaf, they were green. You put them on the brown rock, they were brown. And they did it in a blink of the eye. Well, good salespeople shift themselves and communicate differently according to the buyer. And when you watch them, just like the chameleon, you don't see anything special or different. And if you were to ask them what they're doing, well, it's natural at this point. It's on automatic. They really don't have an answer. And so it looks like it's a secret again, but I'm telling you, the secret is called AlikeAbility. AlikeAbility. My goal in presenting this information is help you expand, to get unstuck, and to be able to speak the language of your prospect. Because when you do that, you're going to make more sales. And I do it through the AlikeAbility system. Now, I am looking for 3 special people, 3 individuals who really want to go in depth and learn about the AlikeAbility system and become an expert in using it. Just 3 people. Are you one of them? Maybe, I don't know. I've used that word AlikeAbility several times, so since I coined it, let me tell you what it means. It's a skill that raises the perception of being alike the other person. It's a skill that raises the perception, the feeling, the thought that we're alike. And because it's a skill, that means you can learn it, I can teach it, and I teach it very well. How do you think it would benefit you if you had a likability, if you could shift yourself to raise the perception that we're alike? Well, you'd feel a lot more comfortable, and so would your prospect in talking. In fact, the ease in which you would talk and present, you'd have a lot of confidence. But you know what would go away? Sales resistance. You know, we all love to buy. We don't like to be sold. And that guard will drop and the sales resistance will be lowered, which means that trust can build, and that will lead to rapport. The name of my business is Rapport Builders. I'm all about helping you build rapport quickly and authentically. And we have an expression: when there's no rapport, there's no sales. But when you know rapport, you're going to know sales. So let me share with you the agenda for this program. I'm going to talk extensively about the AlikeAbility system, specifically how 4 different people, 4 buying styles, go about making decisions and communicating. I'm going to make a very special offer to those 3 people I'm looking for, and then I'm going to give you bonus material all about the behaviors of those 4 buying styles. And finally, when you come to the end, I've got a gift for you, so stay tuned. As we get started, let me share with you that I was born a psychologist. I know, it doesn't look like I'm a psychologist in my baby picture there, but yes, I've been a psychologist all my life. My parents happened to have a very stormy marriage, and my earliest memory was listening to them fight. Loud words, cupboards banging, glasses breaking. It was very scary as a little kid. And yet at the same time, I had this desire that I wanted to help. What could I do to fix the situation? What could I do to help them communicate better? Lo and behold, I happened to watch a TV show, Father Knows Best, in which he sat down his quarreling children and asked them to tell him what was the problem and what to do to fix it. Well, I tried the same technique with my own parents, and believe it or not, they actually did it. They sat down and allowed me to ask them, what was the problem and what could we do to fix it? Now, amazingly, what I learned from that experience is, one, that my native English-speaking parents did not understand each other. Now, isn't that amazing? They both spoke English perfectly well, and yet I, the child, translated for them and was able to tell my dad, this is what mom needs in order to feel loved and cherished. And I was able to tell my mom, this is what dad wants in order to feel respected and valued. I translated. Well, I didn't know that that was a psychology skill until I went to school and happened to study my first course in psychology, and I was hooked. I had no intention of doing sales. However, upon graduation, I found myself in a sales position, marketing and selling services in the workplace, mental health services to help employees, business-to-business sales. And I didn't really understand how to sell. I had that notion about the used car salesman, not very good. And so I decided to learn a little bit more, and I came across something called the Platinum Rule, which is, by the way, there's a book by that title by Tony Alessandro. The Platinum Rule. Well, I was familiar, and I'm sure you are too, with the Golden Rule. The Golden Rule is do unto others as I would have done for myself. Well, that kind of puts me in the center of the measuring stick, doesn't it? The Platinum Rule reverses it. Do unto others, do unto your prospect as your prospect would have done for themselves. In other words, I need to put myself in their shoes. I need to speak their language. I need to look through their lens. So the AlikeAbility system consists of 5 easy steps. Step 1, we're going to define the 4 styles. Now, you're probably familiar with personality systems like DISC and Myers-Briggs. There's animals, colors, shapes. I mean, there are over 200 of these systems out there. I use a system called lens. And yes, we're going to look through the lens of our prospect. It is a little punny. And lens is an acronym. But you see, I'm gifted with the ability to take complex information and simplify it. And that's what I do with personality systems. So the lens system, I've labeled the L in lens for learning. The E is for energizing, the N for networking, and the S for stabilizing. It's okay if you just think of it as LENS, or maybe you'd like to think of it as the colors, green, red, yellow, well, I think of it as gold, and blue. The lens personality system is based upon values, core values. Now, I'm showing here a picture of fruits and vegetables, and you're probably wondering, what's that about? Well, we know that fruits and vegetables are valuable to the body because they contain vitamins and minerals and other nutrients that are essential for good health. But the one vegetable fruit that you prefer and the one vegetable fruit that I prefer, they may not be the same, but they're both valuable. Well, it's the same with personality styles. We're going to talk about values, and people have different priorities around values. So we're going to start with our learning style. What are their values? They value learning. This person takes a deep nosedive into information. They consume it. They are reading all the time, surfing the web. They can't get enough of data and information. They are continual learners. They value intelligence. Now, they often are intelligent people, but even if that isn't the issue, they value intelligence in the other person. They respect it. They value it, as well as competence. Now, competence is a little different than intelligence because it's actually applied. It's the know-how to get things done. And again, this person values people who are competent, who have know-how and savvy and get it done. These people are big picture thinkers. And again, that's one of their values, is to be able to think holistically, to analyze, break it up, and then rearrange it into a new configuration. These are just 4 out of 12 values. Now, when the learning person makes a buying decision, 2 things come into play. One is it should be practical. Now, practical means it solves a problem, and these learning styles are all about problem solving. So it has to be practical. It should solve a problem, and it should be utilitarian. Now, utilitarian means it's useful, but useful over time, because the learning style wants something that solves a problem over time. What are they buying? Well, they're buying information. I told you that they love to learn, they love to read, they love to probe deeply into information. They're buying information, and they're also buying solutions because that's their practical bent. They want to solve a problem. They tend to be very slow when it comes to making up their mind. As a result, you need to have at least 7 or more contacts with this individual. They're slow decision makers. During the time that they're making up their mind, they're thinking and they're reading and they're collecting more information. They don't let any stone get unturned. They want to know everything. The worst thing that they fear is that they might be stupid and make a mistake. So they learn. This is a smart buyer. One of my clients, Lou, who is a photographer and a home stager, he markets extensively to realtors. And realtors come in all 4 varieties, but when he came across realtors who were the learning style, before he took my course, he really didn't know what to do with them because they were slow. And as a result, he just pushed them aside. But now that he can recognize the learning style, he's able to build rapport quickly and authentically, and strangely enough, he's making sale after sale after sale with learning buyers because he knows the right approach and he knows how to work with them effectively. The energizing buyer, very different values. Number one value is freedom. And this person is all about no limits, no boundaries, no ceilings, no bosses. That's what freedom means to them. They're spontaneous, they're impulsive, they get up and go, they do whatever. They're about freedom. And they take action. This is a person who is energized. So they are moving constantly. They're doing all sorts of things. Bluetooth in the ear, texting, driving. They're doing it all at once. They're into massive action. They're always doing something. In fact, there's a little ADD in terms of their attention because they're going from thing to thing to thing, and they just crowd it all in. Excitement, adrenaline junkie. They love excitement. They're enthusiastic. They're full of energy. They get excited. They love life, and they jump in with full gusto. And they're competitive because it's about winning, being number one, being the best, being the only. That energizes them. That motivates them. Those are their values. And when they make buying decisions, two things are going on in their minds. One, is it trendy? You see, they want it to be stylish, modern, on the cutting edge. They want to stand out and be outstanding and have people notice and pay attention to them. They want to be different. And so by having the most stylish, trendy item, that's a way to get attention and stand out. Now, what are they buying? They are buying adventure because, again, they're open to novelty. They want to see what's happening. They jump in. They want to experience life fully, and they are buying an experience. And that experience is that internal feeling inside that goes, wow. Now, as you can imagine, these are fast buyers, 1 to 2 contacts, and they have made up their mind. In fact, I counsel my clients, it's one and done. If you don't ask for the sale when you meet an energizing person, the first time you're talking to them, chances are you'll never have another chance. My client, Paula, she is not an energizing person, but she knew she was about to meet somebody who was. She sells life insurance. And if you know anything about life insurance, it's a fairly steady, secure, plodding kind of occupation. The person who's excited and full of energy, that energizing style, they can't stay to answer all these questions. They want to go, 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 go. And since Paula understood that, what she did is she had the paperwork with her. She had him sign on the dotted line, and they took care of the details later, and he got the policy, and she got the sale. Networking values, again, different from our other two. Their number one value is relationships. They're about connecting authentically with the other person. They want to take a deep nosedive and learn about you and your values and your feelings and your family and your motivation. They want to connect authentically with you and build a relationship. They value doing something of significance, something for the greater good of humanity, something for a cause. And these are indeed people that get involved in doing that kind of work. Very much into harmony. That's another big value. Let's work together. Let's be a team. Let's sing Kumbaya. Let's get along and be at peace. So when they make a buying decision, again, two thoughts are going through their mind. One, casual. They don't stand on ceremony. It should be informal. It should, they just want everyone to be at ease and to be comfortable. They prefer comfort, and they prefer creature comforts, and so they want everyone to be at home and at ease. What are they buying? They're buying a bond. They're buying a relationship. They're buying a connection with other people, with you as the salesperson. And until they feel that they have that connection, they're not going to buy your product or service. They need that relationship first and foremost. Now, they're fairly fast at making up their minds, maybe 2 or 3 contacts at most. But I'm going to suggest that they need one more contact after they said yes, because this is the person who is very concerned about becoming a transaction. Remember, they're about a relationship. And as soon as they feel or sense that they become sale number 461, that's it. They can disconnect. This is the one who no-shows, cancels the product or service, and returns it. So if you want to maintain that relationship, within 24 hours of their saying yes, you need to reconnect and let them know, you and I, we're friends. Now, Linda here, who also sells disability and long-term care insurance, she's not that networking style first and foremost. However, she now understands how to sell to the networking style because she's one of my clients. And so she knows that 90 to 95% of her conversation when she meets somebody needs to be about building the relationship, creating that bond, and then in the last few minutes of their conversation, they can get down to business and the individual is perfectly happy to sign the paperwork and move forward. As a result, Linda's very successful in her field. Last style, stabilizing. What are their values? Well, of course, stability is first and foremost, because this is the person that wants things to stay the same. They don't like change. They want that kind of process and that kind of structure and that security that keeps things in line and keeps them the same. This is a big person when it comes to planning. They value planning. They value having an agenda. They value having a budget. And they stay within the guidelines because it's very important to them that they follow the rules. This is somebody who is by the book and follows rules. And even if you think there are no rules for a particular situation, the stabilizing person knows that there are rules and they have to follow them. This is a person who values tradition. They want to keep things the same from generation to generation, from week to week, from month to month, from year to year. They don't like change, so they do value tradition. When they're making a buying decision, 2 thoughts in their mind. One, it should be classic. Classic means it never goes out of style. It's timeless. It's in good taste. It's classic. And conservative. Again, this is not the person who wants to try something new. This is a person who wants to keep things the same, unchanged, follow tradition. Very conservative choices. What are they buying? They're buying safety. They want to make sure things are safe and comfortable and that there's no surprises. Hence, they don't like risk. They need guarantees. And they're also buying security. Again, they want to feel protected and they want to protect their family members as well. And they want to protect their values, which are traditional values. They're fairly slow at making up their minds, about 5 to 7 contacts. What's going on during those 5 to 7 contacts? 2 things. One, they definitely want to know that your company has a tradition, a reputation, a history of doing things and fulfilling orders and services in an appropriate professional way. So they need that social proof. And they're also watching you. So the second thing is they're looking to see how organized, how professional that you are. Are you keeping appointments on time? Are you fulfilling your pledge to them that you'd get them information or whatever it might be? So that's what's taking time. They're watching and judging to see that you're performing according to schedule. My friend Rob here is an IT consultant. Again, he's not a stabilizing person, but he had an opportunity to sell to a large hotel chain. And when we did the research, we found out that everyone he was going to meet with, they were high in stabilizing. And so what did Rob do? He played the role of the stabilizing person. He dressed in a suit with a shirt and a tie. He polished his shoes. He had a briefcase with file folders. He was well organized. He buttoned his lip. He didn't interrupt. And you know what? He got the biggest deal of his career. So step one, we've been talking about defining 4 different ways people make buying decisions. I've only given you 4 different values for each of the styles. There actually are a total of 12. And we could go on and talk about what they need, want, and like, because those differ from style to style, as well as what they dislike. So of course you want to avoid what they dislike and be more receptive to what they do like. Their buying behaviors differ, and I am going to go over some of their behaviors later in this program. And also what they buy, because remember, people are buying different things, even though it might look like the same thing you're selling. So step 2 is to determine your style. And so why is it important to know what your style is? My guess is you're already saying, well, I seem to be a combination. I have all 4 styles and values within me. And it's true, you do. However, there's always one that's dominant. There's one that you tend to rely upon, just like Mark, our realtor, he relied on a particular style. And that means only 1 out of 4 times are you matching your prospect 25%. That means 75% of the time you're not matched. Now in sales, there's an expression. It takes a lot of no's before you get a yes. And it's because 75% of the time you are not matched. You're not looking through the lens, speaking the language, or walking in the shoes of your prospect. So if you want to be that chameleon, if you'd like to increase sales as much as 300%, this is what you need to do. You start with your baseline, which is your first style, because you're communicating effectively with that style, and that's your baseline. When you add a second style, you will increase your business by 100%. When you add the third style, you increase it 200%. And when you add that last style, 300% increase in sales. Now, just to back it up, let me share with you my client Sharon. She increased sales 270% from January 2016 to January 2017, just by putting into play the principles I'm talking about. And Terry, who owns a spa where her staff sell products, they had a 400% increase the month after we did the training. So yes, this works. All 4 styles. Which one are you? You are a combination. And it's important to know what your style is for many reasons, because you need to know what those strengths are in order to use them well. And you also need to know the deficits so that you can work on them and perhaps eliminate them. What about the rough edges? Every style rubs someone the wrong way. What is it about your style that may be hurting you? And there are blind spots. Each one of us may be blind to how we're coming across or how other people are perceiving us. And as a result, we're stuck. And of course, my goal is to help you get unstuck and expand your repertoire. So step 3 is where we diagnose the other person's style. And I help my clients do it within 30 to 60 seconds. Yes, in less than a minute, you can know who it is that the other person's style is all about. We do it by looking at their clothing, by their vocal qualities, by looking at behaviors, by how they correspond or their email, their decor if you get to go to their office or their home, and also their presence on social media. The way they make choices in one part of their life is the way they make choices in all parts of their life. Hence, we're able to figure out what their style is. Now, I mentioned I have some bonus material because we're going to look at their behaviors. So step 4, this is where we become likable. We match their style, and we do it with authenticity. This is not a mirroring technique. This is based upon values, because when you talk the values of the other person, that's when they relax, that's when they're comfortable, that's when trust builds, and that's when you can do business together. One of the things that helps you be in rapport is by matching their rate of speech. You know, that fast talker, slow talker, there's a lot to that, and I will discuss that in another program. The words to use, and again, you need to use words that bring up the values of your prospect. Arrival time. Turns out that some of your styles will always be late and some are early. Do you know which is which? Because you need to be able to respond appropriately. The energy level. Obviously, it varies according to style as well as how people dress. So yes, these are all the ways that we work on matching. And finally, step 5, we need to discard what doesn't match. And that's where we need to look at your rough edges, the rough edges of your style, or perhaps your own personal rough edges that you've picked up because of just life. And those may be causing you to self-sabotage and you didn't even know it. And those blind spots. What is it that you're not seeing and not aware of in terms of your sales behavior? Because when you understand that and you see it, you can begin to correct it and do better. Again, my goal, help you get unstuck, to help you become that chameleon. So I want to help you go from knowledge, because I have poured on a lot of information, hope you were taking notes. I want to help you go from knowledge to skill, because that's the important thing, is application. You don't want it just in your head. You want to be able to do it. You want to be that chameleon. And in order to do it, it's going to require practice. Yes, practice. You're going to have to get out of your comfort zone and do things you haven't done before. Because if you were already doing them, you wouldn't be listening and watching this program. According to Malcolm Gladwell, it takes about 10,000 hours of practice in order for someone to be comfortable and natural in that skill. Well, you've got 2 choices. One choice is the do it yourself, and it could be I've given you enough information, and believe me, there are plenty of books around there. I told you there are over 200 personality programs, so there are plenty of books, plenty of materials that you can dive into, read, and learn about, and invest your 10,000 hours. Or you can use OPE, and OPE stands for Other People's Experience. You see, I have the expertise. I have invested over 10,000 hours in learning this. And my particular skill is in finding the gold nuggets, simplifying that information, and serving them up to you. And so that special offer I talked about for 3 specific people, here it comes. And that offer is a program that I call Erase Your Sales Blind Spots. It includes 8 recorded lessons like this one that goes into depth about those 4 styles. We'll talk about how you identify them and especially about how you can connect with them quickly and authentically and close the sale. We're going to do a sales assessment of your skills so that we will then do an analysis of your skills so we can figure out where you're stuck and blocked. And this program also includes a live consultation with me. Erase Your Sales Blind Spots. It's going to help you know your style so that you will learn how you can sell effectively. It's going to help you diagnose your prospects and how they make buying decisions. It's going to allow you to match their style so that you will build rapport quickly and authentically. It's going to help you identify your rough edges so that you can learn who you're turning off so you can keep them turned on. And it's going to help you overcome self-sabotage so you can stop nixing the deal. And finally, yes, you're going to know exactly what to say, build confidence, build rapport so that you close more sales. And as a result, you're going to gain sales skills, which will help you achieve your goals. Yes, this is what Erase Your Sales Blind Spots is all about. And you're probably saying, this sounds amazing. It's just what I need. It saves me 10,000 hours. But what does it cost? And you know that it's got to cost something for 8 lessons. That's $997 value. The assessment is $100 value. The analysis, an additional $150. The live consultation is $250. Well, that totals over $1,397. Whew. Good news. You're not going to pay that. My normal fee is $497. Whoa, much, much more affordable. And you can register at lenspersonalitysystem.com. My clients tell me that the best thing they get out of this program is how it impacts relationships, not just business relationships, but especially personal relationships. One of my clients said it saved her marriage. She found out that her style and her husband's style were very different. And when she understood that and she made just a little change, it made all the difference in how they related to each other, and it rekindled their love. I've had adult children estranged from their parents be able to get reunited, as well as siblings be able to work more effectively with one another. Karen, who is one of my clients, she got a client that normally she would have lost in the past because she understood this information, and it's in her heart to serve more clients and change more lives. That's what matters to her. Now, Sam is on the fast track to making more money. So his desire, and he was so excited, he doubled his income the first month of our working together. Paula, within 3 days after the session, she got a new client. Yes, she's able to work with those energizing clients, and she is the kind that needs a plan for success. She needs a proven method to follow. And Maria, she knows how to read other people and give them exactly what they want. She's become the master of this material because she values expertise. Erase Your Sales Blind Spots. $397 value. Yes, I'm giving you 25% off to those 3 people that I'm looking for. So if you're one of the first 3, you can get this for $100 off the normal price of $497. But you have to act now and go to lenspersonalitysystem.com. Now, some of you are saying, well, I've got questions about it. Why are you charging such a low price? Well, I'll be candid with you. I am looking for more testimonials. And I'm hoping that when you get a little taste of what I can offer, especially the live consultation, you're going to want more. You're going to say, wow, I've got to have this in my back pocket. Some of you are wondering about the time. Well, it's recorded. Those 8 lessons are recorded. So, of course, you have access to it 24/7 for the next 12 months. I mean, that's a phenomenal, phenomenal offer. And you will also be able to talk with me in the next 12 months and schedule that consultation. And some of you are saying, well, experience, I'm new. I mean, is this something that I should do as a newbie? And the answer is yes, because it's going to cut the learning curve for you tremendously. It's going to allow you to start earning money more quickly. And you know that that's the lifeblood. That's what's going to keep you in business. You've got to start making sales, and you've got to do it promptly and start now. And some of you are saying, but wait a second, I've been around, I'm seasoned, I kind of am pretty good at sales. Why would I want this program? And the answer would be because you want every trick in the toolbox. You want to know everything you possibly can to build rapport quickly and authentically in order to close sales. So imagine what it'd be like if you don't make a change. Because this is the way things are today. And if you continue the way they are, you're going to get what you've always gotten. But if you change and start learning this material, you are going to get massive positive results and increase your sales. So bonus material, I promise you some bonus material, and we're going to diagnose the prospect style, and we're going to look at their behaviors. So the learning style, remember they're practical and utilitarian. What kind of behaviors are you going to see? Well, they're readers. I told you they love to learn. If they don't have reading material with them, they are reading the walls. They just have to always read. Another behavior, they're thinkers. This is the only style that when they tell you I have to think it over, this is not an objection. It's a reality. It's the truth. It's actually a sign that they might buy. They have to think. They ask a lot of questions. Now, the kinds of questions they ask are meaty, provocative, deep, philosophical questions, like why. I mean, they're not content with small questions about the logistics. They want to probe deeply and understand how things work. They, of course, analyze everything. They take things apart. They find errors and mistakes. They're the ones that, will see a typo, because that's the kind of person that they are. They solve problems, and they find problems even if you haven't discovered them yet. They can anticipate, they can tell you, they are able to see that there is a stumbling block ahead. Other behaviors, they're big into fixing, and they're often in the trades because they take this deep nosedive into a subject matter and become an expert. And they are great at envisioning things. They can be the CEO of a company or a startup company because they have that capacity to look beyond and envision things that are not yet here. And they're into innovation. They're into creativity and doing things differently. Again, they can take things apart, reassemble it, because they're big picture thinkers. Now let's look at your energizing style. And remember, they're on that cutting edge. They want to stand out and be different. What kind of behaviors can you expect? They're multitasking. I told you they're full of activity. They're going from here to there, wherever, the Bluetooth, the texting, the whatever. They're multitaskers. They're in a rush. Everything they do is rush, 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 and that's because they're overscheduled and they never allow enough time, and they're always grabbing for the gusto, and they just cram it all in. They are very much into risk-taking. They are willing to take a chance, to gamble, to do something no one else has done. They are into taking a risk because they love the rewards. And if they think the reward is worth it, they'll do most anything. They're very playful. They love to have fun. They are cut-ups. They have a sense of humor that teases and provokes and, etc., because they have a lot of fun. Remember, they're living life to the full. And this is a person who is on an adventure. Again, they buy adventures. They're always trying something new, something that they haven't done before. And they take the lead. They are not followers. They want to be first, foremost. They're always in the front. They focus on results and the bottom line, and they expect you to quickly deliver them. And now your networking person, what about them? Remember, they're into being casual and comfortable. Well, they love to talk. They talk, and you need to be able to talk with them and talk about yourself, because they want to get to know you. Remember, they're looking to form a relationship. They compliment all the time. They will look at you and immediately say, oh, the shirt you're wearing, the blouse, it matches your eyes, or it brings out the color or something like that. That's how they are. They just naturally compliment one another. And they're big on encouraging and motivating others. In fact, a lot of those motivational quotes you see come from the networking individual. They comfort others. They care about people's feelings. They don't like to see people hurt, animals hurt. Remember, they're into causes doing something of significance. They're very self-reflective. They look inside, they think about the conversation, they go over it in their mind, they replay it, and they are very self-reflective. And of course, they're all about connecting themselves to somebody, but they also like to facilitate connections with others and bring people together. Matchmaking, whether in business or personal life. And they're about service, serving others, helping others, being of service. And of course, supporting and being a part of a team. They love to be a part of a team. Our stabilizing person, classic conservative, what's going on in their lives? Well, they're all about planning. I told you it's a value. Well, they actually do it all the time. They're big on plans. They have plans. They like to plan. It's even an activity, an occupation that they choose. They make and keep commitments. I mean, this person bends over backwards. Their word is their word. If they made a commitment, they absolutely honor it. They obey the rules. Remember, they value rules. They obey the rules. So they come to a full stop at the stop sign, whatever it might be. They follow the rules. And the other styles often get a little perturbed because this person is so black and white. They like to manage people, and they are managing people. And they, again, occupationally, they move up into positions where they are given the role of manager. And they're, of course, highly responsible people. Again, whatever it is that they say they're going to do, they do. If there are rules out there, they follow those rules. They are 100% full of responsibility. And part of that is to stay within the guidelines of their budget, and they absolutely do. They have a budget and they stay within it. You need to honor and respect that as well. And a strong sense of patriotism and doing their duty. Yes, this is a person who honors other people who do their duty, and that's what they do themselves. So how they make buying decisions, I've already told you that the energizing person is the fastest. Your networking person comes next. Stabilizing is about the average, and the learning is fairly slow. Are you aggressive or persistent when it comes to selling those clients? You see, 48% of salespeople stop with one contact or stop without getting a yes. 20% stop after 2 contacts. And as you can see, there's several more that stop after 5. So 84% of salespeople stop with 5 contacts. And yet, 70% of decisions occur after the 5th contact. It occurs with the learning and the stabilizing styles. So you need a system. You need to be able to identify who your prospects are, and you need to know how to follow up with them over time. And that's what the AlikeAbility system can give you. It can give you those tools to identify, connect, build rapport, and close the sale. Well, I want to thank you for listening to this entire program. I did say that there is a gift. It's the 4 magical questions that authentically build rapport with each of the 4 styles. It's a $100 value. It's my gift to you for investing your time today. Just text 667-239-9273. Text the word magic. Again, 667-239-9273. Text the word magic, and I will send you as my gift those 4 magical questions. And as a reminder, Erase Your Sales Blind Spots, $397, only 3 of them at that price. Register at thelenspersonalitysystem.com. Well, I hope you found this program of value. Again, I want to thank you for investing your time and wish you well.